It had been a landmark week for these two combatants. Newcastle unveiled their magnificent new grandstand at Ausgrid Stadium, but more significant was the fact that it was their first outing since the club was taken over by mining magnate Nathan Tinkler. The Dragons, meanwhile, had confirmed during the week that Steve Price would assume the reins of head coach in 2012, following Wayne Bennett's decision to move on at season's end. Having been to England, the Gold Coast and Auckland in the previous 6 weeks, prior to this long road trip north, the Premiers looked a tad travel-weary in the opening stages.
And here's a mistake from St George Illawarra. Matt Cooper coming up with the error.
And they needed a healthy slice of fortune to shake off that lethargy.
Kick from Saud, McManus, Nguama's lost it. Darius Boyd drives on and scores.
Back in action after being a casualty of the opening round, Kurt Gidley was the prime candidate to get things going for the Knights. But he didn't get the best of balls from his scrum-based partner.
And the pass was in front of Gidley, knocked it on and then was forward.
The genius of Mark Gasnier was responsible for St George Illawarra's second try.
McManus comes in, the pass out the back from Gasnier is superb, and Nightingale scores for the Dragons. What a pass from Mark Gasnier.
Faced with a deficit of 14 points as half-time approached, a desperate Newcastle hoisted it high and hoped for the best.
Here's Darius Boyd, he can't get there, tapped back by Caruana, still the last tackle. Hilda gives the ball down to Houston, and the Knights do score right on half-time.
That not only gave Houston the satisfaction of scoring against his old club, but putting his current one back in the match. The Dragons needed just 2 minutes of the second half to negate Newcastle's late try and go 14 in front once more.
Cooper picks it up and scores.
But urged on by a big home crowd on a perfect autumn afternoon, the Novocastrians rallied.
Mullen, short ball, Patterson straight through the tackle of Gasnier. Corey Patterson scores and the Knights are back in it.
Almost 10 minutes later, the hosts came agonisingly close to scoring again, with Gidley just being beaten to his own kick by Saints saviour Kyle Stanley. The Dragons had repelled several Newcastle surges in the middle part of the second stanza, but not even the champions' defence is bomb-proof.
That's not good enough. McManus comes through and scores the try. They're not done with yet, Newcastle.
The Knights asked plenty of questions in the closing 10 minutes, but the Steel Dragons had all the answers and came away from their 4th consecutive away game with an impressive 2-point result, which made second rower Ben Cray a very happy man.
Every time we come up here, it seems to be one of our toughest games this season. End of last year was one of our toughest games, and today was much the same. You know, they're a big forward pack. They got some very strong outside backs, you know, and no, we did well to hang in there. It was good to get the points.
David Rowlands, Big Pond Sport.